Hey everybody, it's Alan at Woodcrest Bonsai, and I just wanted to give you a short update on the bald cypress that I put into the ground. In the first video, I was concentrating on the other end, and we will walk as we look down. You can see they're all the way down in front of this bench. And I don't think I did video on planting these guys, but we now have 20. We have 20 trees in the ground. And these last 4 or 5 were the batch that were in the shade. And then the rest came off of the bench behind me, which if we look at our snapdragons, that bench is right there. So that space was where all the bald cypress were. So like I said in the first video, planting those bald cypress is going to do numerous things. Number one, it's going to clear the bench space. Number two, it's going to give me the pots back that I can put more material into those pots. And number three, it's going to give the trees a chance to grow faster and thicker. And you might think, yeah, but they're right at the bench. So when they grow up, aren't they going to be encroaching on the bench? Aren't you going to be they're going to be in the way? And the answer is no, because I plan on doing growth and reduction with these guys to keep them small. So like this guy right here, if we look, he's got about 6 inches of growth and then another small leader. And then the new growth that comes off of that leader, when it gets to be about 6 inches, I will chop it to 1 inch. So it would be a continuous growth and reduction. So by the time they're as high as the bench, it could be well into the summer. And my bench is just so full of stuff. Oh my God. If I ever got organized, it would be a phenomenon. Anyway, we don't need to go there. So I do have 2 that I've decided to leave in the ground without trimming them at all. I did not trim this guy one bit. And I apologize for the wind. Yet another windy day. Go figure, eh? So he's going to grow. And as you can see, if we look like this, it will be able to grow right up past the bench. But I have very small trees here. So if we imagine this guy up like this, I'll still be able to get to these guys here. And every tree that I have on my benches, I almost always take to my workbench to actually trim and train and do whatever. I may fertilize where they are on the bench, and I may do some pinching. But for the most part, I don't think this tree, as it grows up above the bench and beyond, is really going to do that much to keep me from getting to these other trees. And I've got another one. And some were in 6-inch bulb pans and some were in 12-inch bulb pans. And they are actually staggered. So I started with an 8, then a 6, then an 8, then a 6, then an 8, then a 6, then an 8, then a 6. And so here's another one that's also going to be allowed to just take off. And you may be wondering why those bottles of water are in the back. That's my emergency water. So sometimes you'll see where everything is watered except one tree. And so instead of grabbing the hose and bringing it out and doing all, I can take some of the water from those gallon jugs and just give that one tree that looks really dry a little extra water. So that's my emergency water. And it's rainwater that I collect when there's copious amounts of rain. And then when the rain dries up, I still have that rainwater. But as far as the bald cypress, once again, this guy is far enough away from the bench where when it grows up, and once again, small trees that, it's funny because they're both parrot's beak, 2 different batches of parrot's beak. But I do not anticipate any kind of trouble with letting those trees grow up above the bench. And these ones that were in the shade, in a completely separate area, they're a little spindlier. And I actually chose the thinnest, most spindly ones from there to give them a chance to grow a little thicker, a little fuller, a little faster because they're in the ground. And I'm watering these guys every time I water. I keep saying we're supposed to be getting rain, and it hasn't materialized yet. Now they're talking about tomorrow. But these, I'm watering my benches every day, usually about noon, and right now it's about 8 in the morning. So, everything looks pretty moist right now. Moist soil here, very moist soil here. But here's a perfect example of a lot of these guys have soil that looks pretty moist, but this guy looks pretty dry. So there you go. There's a good reason to have that bottled water, so I can water him without actually having to water the whole batch. Although since since pear speak are so resilient, this guy can remain dry till noon, and then I can just water everything. So I'm pretty excited about these bald cypress because I've never actually done this. I've grown bald cypress in the past as bonsai, but never grown them in the ground to produce thicker trunks faster. So that's it for this video. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we can watch these guys grow together. And that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching Woodcrest Bonsai.